Hey everyone out there in the land of YouTube, this is Annette Dion. I am the host and founder of the Psychic News Network. Today is Monday, May 16th, 2022. And actually, today is my parents' 62nd wedding anniversary. I just thought I'd throw that out there. Oh my goodness. I don't even think they remember. So anyway, let's go on the lighter note of things. I had to remind them last year. Glad you're here. These are times, gosh, there are no words. What a full moon lunar eclipse that was. I can honestly say, of course, being in the field that I'm in, I really am very conscious of all the energy shifts and what the moon phases are and what they're doing. I know a little bit about astrology, but I can honestly say that I have never, I really mean it, I've never felt a full moon lunar eclipse at the level of intensity that I felt it last night. And I am not exaggerating. I felt like I crossed a threshold into a different dimension. This shift that we're going through in this country, should we succeed in making this shift, and we're all part of this, is a shift for the better. I want to remind everybody that what a psychic does is sees the way the energy is going. This is from my perspective. We read what the energy is presently, which determines what trajectory is strongest for the energy to go. And we can affect that. That's why I always tell people in a reading, people that are afraid to get a reading, because that's kind of a typical response to any of this stuff, which is all natural as far as I'm concerned. People are, I can't tell you how many times I've heard, I'm afraid to get a reading, I'm afraid of what you might say, to which I always respond, no, get a reading. If you want to get a reading, get a reading, because you want to know what the trajectory is, because some of these trajectories that are set in place, we're not sure that, we don't maybe know about them. Maybe we have an idea, but we don't really know always that there's something running the show, some sort of a program from the past, that if we address it and we change it, the trajectory can change. So what's going on in America right now, and I do have to go back and listen to what I said on the video of Bridge Cape Ann with Corey, the very long one, the crazy one. We got a little wacko. Anyway, but it was totally fun. At the end, when I read for the weekend, I saw something rough. And I didn't go into details, but I definitely saw something difficult. We had 3 shootings in less than 72 hours. And tonight, there's an election, I think tonight or tomorrow, tomorrow's Tuesday, so there's an election in Pennsylvania to determine who the Republican candidate will be. And 3 out of 4 of them participated actively in the insurrection to overthrow the government of the United States. Take a breath. Yeah. I could do a little dive into that, but not right now. Not right this second. I'm curious, but I didn't think J.D. Vance was going to win, and he won. So, take it a little bit with a grain of salt, because things are still in motion with that. But let's first go to a world event. So let's first go to, I want to look at the world's food supply, because Ukraine has been destroyed, and Ukraine is the breadbasket of the world. I always knew it to be that. And the farmland has been destroyed, and obviously the farms have been destroyed, and a lot of the grain has been destroyed. and planting season is not going to happen. Thank you, Vladimir Putin. And the grain has been stolen by the Russians. I think they're having trouble selling it to another country. They're such idiots. But I want to look at the world food supply because this is really far-reaching, which is part of the reason I've been on my soapbox promising to promote Save Soil. Go to savesoil.org. You can even type it into YouTube and see what Sadhguru is doing. He's halfway into his 100-mile journey across Europe on his motorcycle. And for any of you who don't know who Sadhguru is, that's Sadhguru. He's my guru. He's awesome. Anyway, so I want to look at the world food supply and see what's going to happen with that. And I'm actually going to use a different deck for some of the readings tonight. This is a Voyager tarot. I think I just dropped one. Something fell. I'm imagining things. Hang on. I've been doing that all day. Sorry, I didn't mean to leave. This is called the Voyager Tarot deck. This is actually a cross-section of DNA. And this is a deck that I think it came out in the 1990s. Let's see. The reason I'm pulling this out was because I kept having this image in my mind, and I was thinking, what is this image I have in my mind? And it's like the Ten of Wands in this deck. I was like, that's an image that's in that deck. It looks like collages, and it's really cool. If you can find it, the Voyager Tarot deck. I don't think I have the cover right here. That's probably what I just dropped. Anyway, sorry, I don't want to bore you looking for things. Yesterday I dropped a key. Just dropped it. Fell right on the floor right in front of me, and all of a sudden it was gone. So you know what I did? I actually Googled when things just disappear, because this happened to me before. It just reminded me. Has that happened to you? It's the weirdest thing. Anyway, there were different theories about it, and one was like a ghostly theory. When you drop something in, it just vanishes into thin air. I digress. Before I pick some cards, the moon is now in Sagittarius, which, of course, I'm biased, which lightens things up a little bit. I literally, last night, I looked up, we had some cloud cover, and I looked up, and the moon was behind the clouds, and it was eclipsing at that moment. And the clouds, I don't know, you might think I'm crazy, the clouds were vibrating. The clouds were like, it was really weird. It's a weird time. Okay, 3 cards about the world food supply being affected by, it's going to be a massive grain shortage. Massive. If you like beer like Brett Kavanaugh, it's going to be a rough time. Just kidding. Just trying to lighten the energy. Curious to know how your weekend went. We'll get to what's happening in this country. All right, this is about the world food supply. Okay, I see breakthrough. I think you'd enjoy seeing these cards. Okay. The Seven of Cups is fear. Okay, so there's going to be a lot of fear around food supply. A lot of fear around food supply. I just think these cards are brilliant. They might be out of print. I'll look. I'll look and I'll let you know. Okay, so the food supply, this fear. It's almost like the fear is immense around food crises, potential for food crises. Well, it is a food crisis. But then I have the breakthrough card. The guides are saying there's going to be breakthrough technology that sort of helps a lot. An inventor. So this is about breaking through, finding solutions to the world food supply that's being affected by the evil satanic Putin, who's very sick, by the way. my psychic impression, and love. Now, the other night, I think I was pulling the Lover card a lot, and that indicates that love is the answer, people. Love is the answer to all the crises that we're facing right now. And I don't mean that in a mamby-pamby, Pollyanna way. I mean the kind of love that you've heard stories about, you know, a mother, if her child, if something happens and her child is in danger underneath a big heavy object, like a car or something. It's just an example. And the mother musters up the strength to lift a car. That's love. That's love. That's we can't let these things happen. We love each other too much. So that was pointing to the world food supply and a lot of fear, but breakthroughs, innovation, and love will save the day. Let us not get too immersed in fear. Let us be brave and courageous and have faith. We're going to look now at the situation that happened in Buffalo. I was right in the middle of teaching the pendulum class when that was going on. Really weird. It was like, what were you doing when? And then the next day, there were shootings in LA. And we've really gotten to the point where we numbed out about it because nothing was being done. So what we want to look at is, and I'm a little bit taken aback by most of the focus is right now is on the message of white supremacy, which of course it was based in that. I'm not hearing a lot over the past couple of days since it happened, not even 2 full days, about gun control laws, and not as much about that as, you know, proportionally. I'm hearing more about Tucker Carlson, fake news, the rise of violence, the glorification of violence, the demonizing of anybody whose skin color isn't white, demonizing immigrants. Hello, we're a country of immigrants. I even heard somebody say that the Native Americans, what are they calling it? If anybody should be complaining about replacement, you know, the fear of replacement, what is it, replacement theory or something? It should be the Native Americans, because we replaced the Native Americans. I mean, it's, people aren't thinking. If you get an opportunity, if you haven't already, if you can watch Church of Spirituality from yesterday, I did address this in the sermon. And I really appreciate you guys watching. I really want to expand the spiritual message of the church. So let's take a look at what's going to happen in the United States now that this has occurred. This was, the intensity of the shooting was because it was, they're all horrifying. There's just something about that it happened on a full moon lunar eclipse that gave it a different sort of a slant. And the different sort of a slant and the energy of eclipses is about complete eclipsing the old, which is completely transforming the old. So and it's literally called a blood moon. So I'm pretty sure a flower moon, but it's a blood moon when it's a lunar eclipse. But it was a flower moon because it's May. Literal complete shift, complete change. And it could go either way. So before I look at these cards, I want to remind you that I have started up something new in addition to Grassroots of Democracy, which is every Tuesday, that's tomorrow. I'm calling it 20 on Tuesdays. We'll get together in a Zoom room, and a lot of you have responded already. I've gotten a lot of responses. It really brings me hope. 20 minutes of meditating and intending. We'll meet from 7 to 7:30. You know, people always show up late. And we will really focus and intend on pushing this country in the direction that it needs to go. Sanity, human decency, respect, dignity, peace, loving one another, caring about one another. We're going to work on that. And it's going to work. What did I write? Conviction is very compelling to the universe. That's on my community page. From my teacher who's on the other side, Tony Stone, who made these signs. So the question is this going to, is a shift going to happen this time? I just think it's interesting that all the news has been 100% focused on the message of the extreme right-wing media. I think this is where the message has to be. The messages of the extreme right-wing media, Fox propaganda, Tucker, OAN, all of them. And many, 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 many GOP senators and representatives and... Okay, well, all right, this is interesting. I have the Magician card. For a second, I thought that was a Death card. No, it's a Magician card. The Magician, you can't see the writing. It's white. It doesn't make any sense. So I'll read them to you. The Man of Cups, which would be the Page of Cups, and the Magician. This indicates a lot of discussion about what's going on. Let's see if there's going to be any movement. This is a Courage card. Now, it's a tribal card, but it's a courage card. So it's almost like they have their tribe. Now we need our tribe. And this isn't for violence. This is for a collective movement in a peaceful, loving direction. So the surfer it's called the surfer, the Man of Cups, it's kind of about, riding this new wave of energy. And the Magician is, we will work with this. We will work with changing it. These are hopeful cards because the Courage card is here too. It's gonna take courage. It's gonna take people standing up. And you can bet your bottom dollar that on Thursday at Grassroots of Democracy, we will be talking about how to take the reins and forcefully get our representatives, get the United States to do something. Oh, there's a Death card that came up. This is the end of the old ways. I know you don't believe me. I just think it's interesting because I don't believe me. We're just waiting for the next shooting to happen. God forbid. But that's how it's been. The Death card is the end of the old way. We can make it happen. I like these cards. These are good cards. I hope you enjoyed your Monday. Despite all the bad news, we have to lift ourselves up constantly. Let's take a look at Fox News. Let's take a look at if they're going to make some shifts. So my intention for Grassroots of Democracy on Thursday night, and to join, just write an email to grassrootsofdemocracy@gmail.com and type AYE in the subject line. The group is growing, so I appreciate that. Pass the word. We will be talking about how to get the pressure on the Biden administration for strict gun laws, and we will also be talking about putting the pressure on Fox. Seriously. So let's see what's going to happen to Tucker Carlson. Is anything going to shift around Tucker Carlson? I mean, we have really come into a time where it's like greed is murderous. They're connected. Tucker Carlson, the Fool card. What a fool. Have you heard him laugh? Listen to Tucker Carlson laugh, if you can stand it. It is the most despicable, it's demonic. Tucker Carlson's laugh is demonic. It's different and it's just weird. This is the Fool. This is the surfer. I got it again. This is a new approach. I feel like this Man of Cups surfer card represents something new that will be presented that people will have to get on board with. Now, not too long ago, I said that around November, wow, this is interesting because now it's coming to me that I saw a shift in the Republican Party, and it's all coming together now. This was several videos ago, and I said I felt like that guns were going to be a problem, and guns were going to be shifting a direction of the Republican Party where they'd have to look at it. Maybe this is it. Because I tied it to November. This might be it. This might be it. This might be the thing that I was picking up on that will change the way that the Republican Party will be operating. But it had something to do with guns. I should mark these things, honestly. If you remember, let me know. Preserver. Yeah, okay, this is interesting. Tucker Carlson, the Fool. The Surfer came up just a little while ago. Just the last 3 cards I pulled. So this is about a new approach. It's consistent. And this is a preserver. We're going to learn how to preserve our republic. Our country. I mean, I don't think I'd get the preserver if that was not, the case. So as far as Tucker goes, I feel like he's going to be reined in. But let's check the trusty pendulum just to make sure. Is Tucker going to be reined in? I mean, real general. Is Tucker going to be reined in? Somewhat. I'm getting a yes on that. I see lawsuits. He's going to be reined in. He's going to be forced to make some kind of a concession. I'm not going to say apology, because a person who has no human normal emotions like Tucker he's a narcissist. Narcissists cannot apologize. The words don't come out of their mouth. And he is a crass being. But I see him having to say something. It's not an apology, it's something. And if I have to watch Fox and watch a show, I don't even know when it is, but I will. I'll see what happens. Or I'll see a clip of it if it comes to that. But I feel like he's gonna have to say something. Is Tucker Carlson going to have to resign from Fox? No. Is Tucker going to have to change his approach? Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Those Murdochs are so greedy. They won't take him off the air. I mean, I do see things being curbed for Tucker Carlson. I do. I think the pressure is going to be on. So not completely taken off the air. God, wouldn't they? Maybe we can imagine that. By the way, if you came to my pendulum classes and you're coming on for 20 on Tuesdays, and that's every week. That's not just for tomorrow. It's every week. Because, I'm dedicated. This is all I do. It's just like, it's not all I do, but it's mostly what I do. So on Grassroots of Democracy, we're some of the people in the group are coming to the Tuesday night thing. But anyway, my point was it's every week. The people that were in the pendulum class, we can work with the pendulum to clear energy too. Maybe we can just douse him away. What do you think? I love that idea. Let's see if Fox is going to change its tune. They got to be reined in, and I since they're so greedy, I just feel like the best way is to hit him where it hurts. And don't forget, Dominion has sued them. The voting machine company has sued Fox for billions, and Giuliani, and Sidney Powell. I guess these things take a while. You think? Is Fox News going to have to change? These cards are really good. Confusion. They don't know what to do. But let me tell you, the reason Fox is confused is because they're trying to figure out how to spin it. Keep spinning. Spin, spin, spin. That's what they do. You know, today I was just writing. Sometimes I write in the morning. And I wrote something about Fox News, and then I realized that FAUX, meaning fake in French, even though we say faux, if you pronounce it like English, it would be Fox, right? Did anyone ever think of that? Am I just like a little slow to catch on to that? Anyway, and then I was thinking about when they had remember this? When there was a fox at the White House? Not biting. Beating! Not beating people, biting people! Mercury's retrograde. That was really symbolic. I think somebody mentioned it in the chat too. The universe has a sense of humor. Like when the fly landed on Mike Pence's head during the debate. Seems like ages ago. Fox News will have to change its tune. Yeah, okay, so they're in a lot of confusion. The Knower card, the Sage of Crystals. There's a lot. That somebody knows so much about something. Somebody knows something about Fox. And if they don't change their tune, this is a confusion. It's like something's being held over their heads. I think it's Russia. That we know that Fox is being paid by Putin, who's on his way out. And then I have the Lever card where they actually, I have a feeling that the something to do with Fox, they're gonna suffer a loss. I feel like, and then some. Let me just put it to you straight. It's not that many. But there's a handful of people, and I'm not talking about the journalists or whatever, the spokespeople, the talking heads. I'm not talking about them. Not the band, the people that talk, you know. The name that the band name came from. I feel like the people on Fox, there are about a handful of people on Fox that are kind of behind the scenes that do care. It's not the Murdochs. But they do care, and they're pretty high up on the ladder. So I feel like the Fox News is going to have to rein it in somehow, because there are actually some people at Fox that actually care about this country. But they are confused. They are confused. But there's also the element of somebody knows something about Fox, and it's connected to Russia. Look at Einstein is in there. They can't fool Einstein! So much in there. I'd like to do an entire class using the Voyager deck. Wouldn't that be fun if we can all find it? Okay. Let us really, 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 really send a lot of healing to Buffalo and to the other and to LA and to the people that were traumatized after the basketball game Friday night. That was during our show. Corey and I were having a show, and people were getting shot at. The frightening thing is, and I'm not here to frighten you. I'm here to, you know, for us to be together and to feel like, you know, we're in this together and we can do this. When you look at the Taliban and the, you know, bombings in the Middle East, and, you know, what happened in Buffalo, these people were just innocently at the grocery store. How many times do we hear about, you know, cafes being bombed by terrorists in the Middle East, and just like every day, these horrible terrorist bombings. You know, there's just this evil in the human consciousness that we've always had to fight. People having weddings and terrorist bombs on somebody's wedding day with all the family and everything. So I'm not saying this to bring you down. I'm saying this just so we can kind of reflect on how really, really important it is that we fight this white supremacy, this glorification of violence. I mean, these GOP Republicans out there with their campaign ads, they're all having guns, and they were holding guns on their Christmas cards saying that we're Christians. Jesus told us that we're Christians and we're perfect, and we hate women, and we hate anybody who's not white, and we think we have to shoot them. I'm pulling 3 cards to see if that's going to change. If attacking people that are kind and compassionate and caring and intelligent, is that going to change? That they stop demonizing the good people? I think this is the Hermit card. Okay, I keep getting the Lover card. This has been happening a lot. Honestly, it's so interesting when that happens. Okay, so what I'm asking is there going to be a point where we just the Hermit card? This is feeling like we're going to feel all alone. Well, we feel all alone now. We feel understood if we are, if we're. It's interesting. There's a little reptile there. If we're, being like singled out as woke and wrong and that kind of thing. They're trying to make us feel like we shouldn't be the way that we are if we're normal. And the Hermit is saying that's what they're striving for. They're striving to make the normal Americans, the ones that aren't extremists, feel like, oh, we're gonna make you all feel like you're all alone and you can't beat us. And the Rejoicer card is like, but we're gonna win because the love will win. I really think that's what the cards are telling me. Love will save the day. Love will win. Love will win. Love will win. Love will win. Enough of that and that. It will. I know. We've been going through this throughout all of human civilization. Humans have been terrible to one another. Humans have brutalized one another. Humans have been, have had this evil side. But it's not the majority. It's not. Most people are good. I always remind people in the diary of Anne Frank, for all the tragedy of her life, in her diary she wrote, after everything, she still believed that people are good. Anne Frank, you might remember that. You probably all had to read that in school. I mean, I don't know if Ron DeSantis is not allowing it. We'll get to him. Deep down, we just have to know that most people are good. And we have to focus on the good. I know we all want to control what happens, and we feel so helpless. And these are unprecedented times. I mean, the horrible behavior of the Supreme Court, the unthinkable, what Putin has done to Ukraine, and the shootings and the gun violence, and it's like, if you lose hope once in a while, it's understandable. Just reach out. Make sure you reach out. Love will win. I wouldn't be pulling all these love cards. I mean, this has never happened before. Because it was happening the other night with Corey, and I think it might have happened in my last video. I have to go look. But, okay. How's Biden going to do in all this? Biden's going there to Buffalo tomorrow. Synergy, universe, death. There's going to be big changes coming. Synergy, universe. We have to trust the universe. This will change. The gun violence will change. We're going through massive, massive changes. Massive. Okay, we're going to switch to the other cards. Just because you're more familiar with those, I don't want to wig everyone out with all the weirdness. There's a lot going on in this deck. A lot. But it was really true. I kept seeing in my mind's eye this picture, and it was out of this deck. I had to go looking for it. Just, where did I see that picture that I have in my mind? Okay, let's just do this. The Pennsylvania race. Mastriano was at the insurrection. Daniels is a wife abuser, and he was at the insurrection. Kathy Barnett was at the insurrection with the Proud Boys, and these people are running for office. Do not go back to sleep. Let's be woke. We offer kind energy. Let's be woke. We're getting t-shirts made. Okay, Mastriano. Is Mastriano going to... Is he going to win? No. Is Daniels, the wife abuser insurrectionist, going to win? It's saying no. Is Kathy Barnett going to win? It's going in a crazy counterclockwise thing. My pendulum can't handle this. My pendulum can't handle the race. Is Barnett going to win? Dr. Oz is the only one that wasn't at the insurrection, as far as we know. Is Dr. Oz going to win? No! Well, he's the only one that wasn't an insurrectionist, and it doesn't mean he's going to beat the Democrat. I don't know. I don't even know how to look at that. There's not a good or a bad. It's just all bad. And Stefanik, you know, there's this thing that we could probably coin a phrase where these Republicans like Kevin McCarthy, you know, flipping after, you know, all these Republicans have said, oh my gosh, it was terrible what Donald Trump did. We have to invoke the 25th Amendment, you know, and there has to be a word for when people flip to the opposite. I guess it's called flipping, right? Like Lindsey Graham, there's so many that just all of a sudden they were against Trump because he attempted to overthrow our company, our government, and then they just flipped. And Stefanik is another one. Is that how you say your name? Stefanik? Anyway. Yeah. So let's look at how it's going to go for the primaries overall. Very general. We'll go very general. For the primaries overall, how is it going to go? In other words, are the Democrats going to gain some, you know, steam? That's really what I'm asking. Are the Democrats going to gain steam in the elections? Yes. It will be challenging. But, you know, let me tell you something. One of the side effects of all the heinous things that we've seen recently in the past couple of weeks is that these unspeakable things that are happening, and I'm including the Supreme Court here, the side effect of taking away women's rights is the Democrats have to rise up. The side effect of these atrocious murders in the name of white supremacy means the Democrats have to step it up. The behavior of Ron DeSantis and Greg Abbott, which are two peas in a pod. By the way, DeSantis was in on the insurrection indirectly. Anyway, I just thought I'd throw that out there. I've seen that for the whole time. And DeSantis has connections to Russia too, as does, and not as directly, but Greg Abbott too. DeSantis recently said that he wants to make November 7th something about victims of communism day. He's down there making up all these like holidays and rules and making his own police force and dissing Disney and trying to take away Mickey Mouse's trademark, and he's wackadoodle. Anyway, I'm not really asking about him at the moment. I'm asking about the Democrats. Are the Democrats going to pull ahead? And it looks like it's going to be challenging, but it looks like yes, because these terrible things are pushing us we're at the tipping point here. We're at, that's what we're gonna see. We're gonna see some things. It's gonna be like the Super Bowl when it was really close till the end. And there's an eclipse that day too. But I don't want everybody being all like, in November. I don't want everybody being all crazy. Wait, is that eclipse on? Oh, the eclipse is on in 2024 in November. Right, like on election day or something like that. But that can be a good thing. Doesn't have to be a bad thing. It's just like Mercury's retrograde right now and people panic. It's like, it's a really good thing. So if you fumble your words, if your car needs, I don't know, something, but it's a time to really slow down and, take a breath. We all need that. It's going to be challenging, of course. We're going to be like, it's going to feel like the Super Bowl in November. The Three of Wands is we are going to start coming together and feeling good about things. And the Ten of Pentacles, that's good luck. We're not going to be pummeled over the head forever. We're not going to be pummeled over the head forever. So don't you worry your little, tush. It's not going to be this bad forever. The guides just want me to tell you that. It's not going to be this bad forever. It's not going to get worse and worse and worse and continue to spiral downward. We are in the thick of huge transformations on all fronts. That's why it's so challenging to do readings and cover everything. It's impossible to cover everything. But one thing we are going to cover, this is the other heinous behavior that the Republicans are doing. So there's a shortage of baby formula, believe it or not. But let's have more babies. Anyway, I digress. The shortage of baby formula is much due to the fact that there's too much, what do you call it? Monopoly. There's a monopoly on the baby formula manufacturing companies, and Abbott, that name has a curse on it. I hope your last name isn't Abbott. I don't want you to be offended. Anyway, Abbott is the name of the company. The universe, has these little synchronicities that line up. Anyway, so there was something nefarious going on at this Abbott Similac. I don't know if it's Similac. Anyway, it's baby formula lab where they weren't being careful, and it got contaminated. And I didn't know this. I just read this today. 2 babies died, and 1 got terribly sick. This is unspeakable. Why they have a monopoly on the baby formula, particularly, the people on welfare trying to feed their babies, they have to have one certain brand. The whole thing reeks of corruption. It's like everything, I guess. But the whole thing reeks of corruption. And what are they doing? They're blaming it on Biden. And they're literally saying, some of these Republicans are saying, they shouldn't give any formula to the babies that are being held at the border. And Trump was ripping babies from the arms of their mothers. I mean, it's beyond human. There are no words. Anyway, we're going to take a look at what's going to happen with that. I'm sorry if I'm going slow tonight. It's just that the energy. I'm just reeling from the full moon lunar eclipse. It's just, wow, all over the place. Well, when I say nefarious, in this deck, this is a nefarious card. You think? And there's the cup, there's the baby formula. They poisoned it, they let it get poisoned because they weren't being strict about the standards. And so the baby formula got contaminated. And because this company has a monopoly, there's a few others, but there's not enough companies making baby formula. Because we're in a misogynistic society here, and they don't care about women and children. This has to stop. You have to listen to my sermon from yesterday. There will be enough formula. I'm still like just in my head about the Republicans saying we shouldn't feed the babies at the border. Just gonna let them starve? A little baby. You're gonna let a little baby starve. These people have no souls. They were born without souls. I swear to you. There's gonna be, Biden, the Democrats to the rescue. They'll start producing enough. There will be, the people in America that can get formula will start contributing to, having it be shipped to the people that need the baby formula. It shouldn't be like this. Anyway, it's all greed. Greed, greed, greed. Greed, 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 greed. But the Biden administration is going to figure it out. So take that. You Republicans that are good for nothing, that don't care about anybody but yourselves and your rich friends. It makes me so mad. Can we read on something happy? We're supposed to have a really big storm tonight. I don't hear it yet, but get ready for some really big storms. One time, I was thinking this today. I had a vision of an iceberg off the beach here. It was just a vision. I hope it doesn't happen. But then I think today I was reading about ice, chunks of ice. I don't know where it was. Chunks of ice flowing into a certain particular area. If you read that, can you get back to me? I just saw it at a glance. There's so much news, I can't take it all in. It's just, but I swear that I saw that there were pieces of ice that were floating into the certain area, and I went, that's interesting, because I had a vision of an iceberg off the coast here, like off the beach. An iceberg. It was a while ago. I'm going to wrap up soon, so let me think about, I'm probably leaving out something very big. Okay, let's do this. I don't think I've ever tuned into somebody as, to tune in and to perceive them as ill as I perceive that Putin is. I don't even know how that man is still alive. And I actually know, it was a close second a while back when we were all questioning where is Kim Jong-un. And there was a question about whether he was really him or if he had passed away. And I think that Kim Jong-un is no longer on the planet, and that the guy that's being Kim Jong-un is a body double. That was my psychic impression. Anyway, flipping back to Putin, I don't think I've ever tuned into somebody that was as sick as he is. Mentally and physically, but physically, I'm not even sure how he's still alive. Similar to what I felt about Kim Jong-un. Entertainment purposes only. The Russian soldiers, as I was talking about, they're defecting. The guys just said they're defecting. I'm getting in 3 months this thing is going to turn around. Keep pumping light. Keep pumping the light. Onto the planet. Visualize light. Visualize light. Visualize light. We are all light. For a lot of people, it's just way covered up. For most people, though, the light is shining brightly. Well, so this is about Putin. Okay, this is Putin. It's not working. There's nothing that, and I came up with this card the other day. Nothing that they're discussing about winning the war is working. And he is very ill. That man does not look happy. That man looks like he's having a very bad day. Wow, interesting. I actually see the Ukrainian people that are coming back to Ukraine. Boy, are they determined. It's a little soon for that, but I actually see the Ukrainian people. They're amazing. They just get into this, we're just going to do it. Some of them are moving back into Ukraine and setting back up. It's crazy. All right, now I'm curious. I want to look at one more card about that. And then I'll pick 2 cards from the other deck, the Voyager deck. Wow, time is flying. I gotta move faster. I want to pick 2 more cards about, Russia and Ukraine. It's a matter of time, but Ukraine wins, and I feel like Russia's going to be liberated. I've been doing this work for a very long time, and I believe what I'm saying there, just so you know. 1 more card from the Voyager deck, and I'll let you go until I'll be back Wednesday. Just a couple short days. If you want a reading, I have time. AnnetteDionPsychic@gmail.com. Matthew will set you up. Okay, so for the next couple of days, I have this is the Empress card. I've been seeing the Empress card for the United States, so those of you that are in the United States, take hope from this card. When bad things happen, on the other side is a good thing. When really bad things happen, some really good things are on the flip side of it. We don't want the bad things to happen, but I'm just saying, it's the duality of life. So the intensity of how bad it was will be, the intensity of the love that will be pouring out. We have to have an end to this gun violence. We have to really pray hard, and we have to stay on it. We can't really go, oh, another shooting. Oh, there's nothing I can do. We cannot do that. This is a deciding moment. What else? Okay, so tomorrow night, Tuesday, on Tuesday. It's a 20-minute time of intending. If you'd like to receive the Zoom invite, pay attention. AnnetteDion7@gmail.com. Just put the number 20 in the subject line, and you will receive a Zoom invite tomorrow, probably tomorrow afternoon. You will receive the invite. Don't worry. If you don't worry. If we screw something up, we're doing it every Tuesday. That's AnnetteDion7@gmail.com. That's all I have for you. I don't want to confuse you with too many email addresses. So, namaste. Thank you for tuning in. I love you. You are loved. You are important. You are appreciated. Namaste. See you soon.